All right, everyone. Lauren Southern has been detained trying to enter the UK. This follows only a few days in the wake of Brittany Pettibone being, prevented from entering the UK too. Basically, she and her boyfriend were thrown in different cells and not allowed to see each other in true 1984 dystopian UK-style fashion. For several days. Now they're back in the civilized world, aka Austria, a country that doesn't care that they're racism, which they're not, but they were trying to interview Tommy Robinson. He's really out there. He wants to stop religious zealots from killing people. That's a really bad belief. If you have that belief in the UK, you're going to be profiled by, I guess, the Glasgow police or something. It's really, the UK is falling on hard times. They're having some difficulties. Now, let me tell you this. Lauren Southern has, or had at least, White House press credentials. Is there going to be any response whatsoever towards this and also the issue with Pettibone? Legitimate journalistic individuals, is there going to be any response at all from the U.S. government about U.S. or Canadian citizens being detained by the UK for racism that has nothing to do with race? Look, there's a picture of the so-called racist material that Lauren Southern was circulating by her own admission, according to, I guess there's a slip of paper that she had saying why she was barred from the UK, because she was distributing racist literature. What was the racist literature? Criticism of Islam. Note to the UK, Islam is not a race. It never will be a race. There are plenty of Islamists in Europe. They're European. Their race is, they're European. They're white. They're not foreign people as you, I guess, in an ethnocentric sense, consider them. Islam's not a race. It's a choice that people make. When did we get to the point where supposedly enlightened Western nations would bend over backwards for a religion? It's really rather funny because for decades and decades, I've been talking about, religion holds us back. It can be bigoted and intolerant. Well, I guess you don't need religion to be intolerant anymore. The UK's secular government has quite a time of being intolerant itself. Oh, you can't come into the country. You can make posts and people from within the country will read them. Lauren Southern, which more people probably see her online than see her, in person. Okay, same with Pettibone, same with any of these people that have been mistreated by the UK's government recently, which seems to be a large and growing number of people. Who signed this off, by the way? Is it Sadiq Khan? Did he say, don't let this woman in, might stir up trouble, you might talking about criticism of Islam, oh my God. It's rather funny. People on the left, they're always talking about how it's going to instigate the Islamic community into violence by having such like blasphemy and stuff. Are you nuts? I blaspheme Christianity. Oh, no problem. Yawn. Go back to bed. Blaspheme any other religion. Who cares? Islam is like the one that you can't criticize it. It's crazy talk. It's crazy. The UK is run by nuts. This is like 1984 mixed with Animal Farm, mixed with Brazil and Brave New World and some of these other dystopian fictions. But it's not fiction, it's real. It's actually there. You go to London Stand today, it's actual dystopia, literal dystopia, where you can be attacked, you can't defend yourself, or you go to jail. You get attacked, nobody's going to defend you, nobody's going to talk about it. The police are disarmed, the citizens are disarmed. Where radicals can go around and do, I guess, exactly what they want. They don't even get in trouble for it. But if a person suggests that that's a problem, that that's a problematic system, they're labeled an extremist and kept out of the country. To protect the people of the UK from the wrong-think opinions of outsiders. Good luck trying to shield it. If you want a Chinese-style intranet, you can build your own British Facebook, ripoff, your own British YouTube ripoff and stuff like that. If I was running one of these big tech firms, I would lock the UK out entirely. Say, no, your people can't access my site. I don't want the problem. I don't want the trouble of it. EU, maybe they're off the table too. Maybe I'll keep everyone from Western Europe from connecting to the site. You obviously don't believe in free speech, so why would you care? It's so problematic. This is supposedly, according to this, the UK. It's like, we're the cradle of the West, we're like the most enlightened, we're the most perfect. We're extreme ethnocentrics on that count. But at the same time, where our viewpoints, our situation is so weak, it's so easily overthrown by anyone who has an opinion other than ours that we've got to keep people out of our country under trumped up pretense of racism. Lauren Southern was not being racist when she was distributing rainbow-colored Allah in the background sort of literature. It's not racist. Allah is not a race. Muslim is not a race. It is a religion. It's a choice. That's like saying, well, Jesus was from the Middle East, So if you oppose Christianity and blaspheme Jesus, you're a racist. You're racist against Middle Easterners because Christ was from the Middle East. It's the same exact fucking claim. And it's the same exact fucking amount of stupid. It's exactly what it is. So, yeah, the UK is nuts. So basically, like, I would never go to the UK. Like, am I going to get to the, like, let's say I get on a plane, you know, go to New York, then fly over to the UK. I get off the airplane. They're like, oh, you know, well, sorry, sir, you can't step foot in our country. We're going to have to detain you until the next plane arrives. Get you on that plane. So, you know, just detain me for a week. Like, I can't even go see, like, Warwickshire. I wouldn't even bother. What's the point? What's the fucking point of traveling to the UK if you're going to get singled out? You happen to be well known and you have opinions that they don't happen to like, even if it has nothing to do with race. Then I had this one person, fake libertarian, you know, obviously fake, actually a leftist pretending to be a libertarian, saying, well, Lauren Southern's like authoritarian, so this is a good thing. You shouldn't be able to spread such filth. So you're okay with a state blocking somebody from speaking, blocking somebody from movement. The reason that was given, oh, she was aggressively blocking people in Sicily, which didn't even happen. There was no aggression. There was no crime committed. You know, she's free for a reason. You know, in Italy, they don't even have the concept of innocent until proven guilty is not quite as strong as it is in some European nations. You do realize that, right? She wasn't even charged. She was let go of. Goes back to Canada. I find it very funny that the Canadian and U.S. governments have said but fuck nothing about these events. And they probably won't. They don't want to touch the issues because they're cowards. The media here, they're cowards. The UK's media are cowards. A lot of people in the UK are cowards. They're not going to speak out against it. They're afraid of getting put in a gulag. There you go. There's your problem. You're sitting there worried about Russia this, Russia that. Russia's trying to undermine things. Why are you so fucking scared? Well, you're afraid of Russian authoritarianism, right? Like, you know, neo-Soviet sort of ideology. Well, you've already got that authoritarianism. Stop trying to blame some foreigner for your problems. I thought that was itself problematic. You know, you're always talking about that. No, the UK is no longer Great Britain. It's Little Britain. It's tiny Britain. It's inconsequential Britain. It doesn't matter anymore. Look, India, one of your former colonies, has now supplanted the UK on an economic scale, has a bigger military, has a better military, could literally destroy the UK's military in a man-to-man fight. You know, come on. The authoritarianism is not doing you a justice. It's like the UK is trying to compete with Sweden, Belgium, and Germany. Those four of them are competing to see who can be the most totalitarian without people realizing that it's a totalitarian state. It must be so sad to live in the UK today. I think that we should extend refugee status to British people. Yeah, at this point we probably should. You're living in a tin horn regime. You're living under a government that doesn't represent you, that doesn't care about you, that isn't keeping you safe, except to prevent you from hearing the wrong opinions from someone you label racist for criticizing an unorganized religion. Fuck organized religion. Organized religion is a cancer. It doesn't matter whether it's Islam or not. The fact that somebody chooses to say, hey, well, you know, I'm going to pick on Islam, that doesn't make them a racist. Again, they can pick on Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever it happens. It's an organized religion, dude. It's a viewpoint. It's an opinion that people have, and a stupid one usually at that. That's not a race. It has no overlap with race. The biggest Islamic population in the world is in Indonesia, not in the Middle East. Second largest is in India, the minority, about 100 million Muslims from India. Has nothing to do with the Middle East, now does it? Middle East, number 3, I think, is Saudi Arabia. Then you get into the Gulf states. You know, East Africa, North Africa, parts of Central Asia, Kazakhstan, a significant Islamic minority there. Okay, are they from the Gulf states? It's not a race. There are people in Europe, they're born in Europe, born naturally, 100 generations back, their family's been in the same town in Ireland somewhere, they're an Islamist. They're a Muslim. How is that a race? It's not. Stop fucking lying to people constantly. Look, the Europeans are using so much propaganda. Governments there are so authoritarian, and people don't even realize it. They're like, oh yeah, but it's okay because the person's an extremist. She's not an extremist, dude. Lauren Southern's not an extremist. Why don't you actually listen to what she has to say instead of just prejudging her because the Guardian, the BBC told you some crap? They say the same thing. Look, Right Wing Watch and the Wall Street Journal think that I'm really out there. Actually watch my videos. What do I think? I support gay marriage. I like environmentalism. I don't think people should be butchering one another. I don't really give a fuck what someone's ideology is until they impugn upon me. If you think that that's extremist, because the BBC or the New York Times or CNN told you, you are a slave. There's no other term for you. Your mind, if your mind is enslaved, the rest of you is enslaved. You can be controlled, be made to do exactly what anyone else wants you to do. Anybody who's skilled enough to fiddle around in your head a little bit, like it's a fucking machine, can get you to do anything. They could get you to go off and commit mass murder. How do you think wars happen? It's not because some YouTuber, some vlog, Lauren Southern told people that violence was okay. It's never gonna happen, dude. That's not the way that the world works. It's not reality. The UK is not living in reality at this point. That's about all. Peace out.